It's Bill. So I went to the store the other day and they had this really thing I'd never seen before, crab legs, but they were like, you could buy really cheap, like for dollars a pound, all the broken crab legs. So I'm like, that's not a bad deal, right? There's like 5 pounds in my thing. So I got a nice clump of all sorts of good crab meat here. So I kept it in the freezer, and the other day I was bored, so I had a pot of boiling water, dunk a few groups in, take them out, and crack them and get the meat out. And then I put them back in the freezer because I knew I couldn't make them for a few days. So I got them out of the freezer, and I'm like, oh, what can I do with these? So I'm going to do this crab dip, and I'm going to just use some of the things I kind of have been working with and really enjoying. So for starters, I got me a block of cream cheese. Always great to start with, right? And I want a little bit of hot sauce. So I'm going to dump in about a tablespoon, and we can change it as we go. And the other thing I like, which just really kind of brings out some flavor, is smoked paprika. And I just need like a teaspoon of smoked paprika. Boom. Maybe a teaspoon and a half. Then, whenever I work with seafood, I always want a little bit of fresh squeezed lemon juice. I just saw a seed in here. Because, sometimes when you cut them in half, you get a little bit of the seed. So, just going to pour. I'm going to start with about a tablespoon, and I can always add more. Then, got me some garlic. That's about 4 cloves, because I really love the flavor. And it's kind of weird that I love the fact that something about garlic and smoked paprika does the body good. Then of course I just pretty small chopped up about half of a sweet onion. I try to keep it pretty uniform so it's a little smaller. Because sometimes I just get in a hurry. And so let's start. Nothing like a little wooden spatula here to start mixing this. And really, this is room temperature cream cheese. So I'm just trying to get it kind of beat up a little bit, because this is going to be the hardest ingredient to mix together. And I was hoping that a little bit of that lemon juice is going to soften up or make it happy. Got a little orange tint to it, which is funny because that's really going to help with the make it look like the old crab meat, right? Well, I didn't try and kill it, I just wanted a little bit. Alright, so now what's next? I did a whole bunch of hatch chilies. Remember the whole thing I showed you how to roast them? And I went back to the store like 3 times and kept buying bunches of them. So I'm thinking I really want to kind of put a twist on this and put quite a bit of hatch chili in here. Now I'm not sure I'm going to use all of this, but basically it's easier to cut up frozen. So I just want to get, I'm going to start with about half. And yes, you can put it in a plastic bag and refreeze it. So, no harm, no foul, or something like that. And I did heat the oven up 350. Alright, so this is getting all yummy, yummy. And I'm waiting for the final thaw and these hatch chilies, because they're still a little frozen, because they just chopped them up a little bit ago. All right, so let's take a look at this crab meat. Got me a cutting board just in case. And the only thing I was noticing, wet. I washed but didn't dry it, so let's get that dry. The only thing I was noticing is when you take the legs out, they're still pretty whole. So I'm just gonna go boom, boom, because I'm making a dip, right? Jam. We're not making it into nothing. We're just getting some of these, and this is, I mean, this is like wicked awesome. I would do this again in a heartbeat. Not trying to impress people. I'm not doing like a crab boil. That's why they couldn't get rid of them. They weren't pretty, but they're pretty good. Almost done here. A lot of this just kind of broke up as I was taking it apart, so I'm not too concerned. Really just kind of looking for those big pieces. These weren't the, you know, kings. They bunch of crab or claws and stuff. Took me forever, I will tell you. So I really don't like doing crab boils because it's like, it takes longer to dig the freaking crab meat up than I care to, okay? Alright, let's... Now because I did freeze this, I do want to try and prevent from getting a lot of, if there's any water in the bottom. And I was pretty good about it when I was breaking them all up. I mean, this is like a cup and a half of really good crab meat. I missed one here. Two. And this is really, I mean, this, you know, people poo-poo about frozen food. I'm sorry, probably everything you get that you think is fresh from like your fishmonger is probably previously frozen, okay? All right. So I'm like, holy cow, this looks really good. So now I got the cream cheese really soft and starting to mix. Now, since I've been on a kick and doing some BOGO shopping, I found this new revived fascination for the coated cheese. So I'm thinking, I had a tub of it here, and I want to put, I forget, it's some weird amount, 15 ounces, so it's sort of a pound. I want to put about half a cup. It really depends on how much crab meat you have. But I think when you bake for coated cheese, it really makes great texture. And I'm trying to just kind of fold it easily because I really don't want to destroy the crab meat. And last but not least, for flavor and consistency, I always have, that's right, some nice supported Parmesan cheese. I got a half cup. That's a lot of good stuff. And I'm kind of doing a little visual on it, and thinking I'm going to put just a little more ricotta cheese in there. So we're up to about 3/4 of a cup, just because I had so much crab meat. And as you can tell, I'm sticking to keeping it down to, used half. That was a pretty good sized lemon, and I used half the juice. So that's about half a lemon, which is pretty much what you usually want. Okay. Now, if you don't think this looks great, then you probably don't like crab meat, which I move on to the next video. Just checking to make sure it's, and you know, some things when you make them, you really don't have to, you know, kill yourself mixing it up, because some of it does kind of just make itself happy in the oven. So I have my old Corningware. I did spray it with some oil pan, you know, whatever that spray is. Now, let's get this, I'm going to drop this bowl. Let's get this in here. And if you haven't figured out, yes, this is a hot crab dip. I'm not sure I don't know. I guess once you cook it, cold might not be bad. Might try it and tell you what I think. As much time as I put into all this crab meat, I'm getting every last little drop out of here. Let's smush, smush. And I love when you cook it enough that it gets a little brown around the edges and really bubbly and all that good stuff. It's so funny with the chili still being pretty frozen. Yeah, it's cold. So anyway, I'm going to put this in the oven. I promise you that it's going to spend a half hour in the oven because we really want to get it heated through, cooked, bubbly, and happy. So I'm going to put it in a 350 oven, 30 minutes, and I'll be back to show you what it looks like. exactly what I expected. Amazing. Fabuloso. So this stuff is really hot, but it's going to be really good. I'm really excited. So I'm just going to take a little bowl here. Oh yeah, so creamy. This is what hot crab dip should be. So I got these little bowls. I know you've seen them 100 times before. Just want to get a little in here. You don't know. It's killing me. To die. Let me get it out of the way. Hot, hot. So this kind of cool, like, individualized thing. And then all you do is, we're going to take some chips. And of course, you're going to have the big bowl of chips, but just to get people kind of started on it, just kind of make a little circle around. Always make sure the chips aren't stale. I always have to eat a few because I love them. All that salt goes great with a nice beer or a nice white wine, especially with a seafood. Sauvignon Blanc would do well too. You name it. But let me tell you, this is really fun, really good. I need you to try it if you feel like it and if you like crab. If you don't, well, go to the next video. Anyway, have a great day. I'll see you next time.